So I just talked to the group over here about humility, and that was actually Lieutenant Dorsey brought that up. That's the thing I try to learn. So particularly as a general officer, the more senior you get, the more deferential people start to become, because look, I can't even walk around the room. I got my XO standing right here, my aide right here, so they don't even let me get without arm's length. It's very easy when you've got that type of thing going on, when everybody snaps to attention when you walk in the room, to forget who you are, and to forget really that it's not about you, it's about the position. So I think trying to lead with humility is something that you ought to aspire to do all the time. And the more senior you come and the more experienced you become and comfortable in your role, the harder that will become, because you will think you know the answer, and you will think that you're the most important person in the room, and then you'll find out that you probably need to step back a little bit. So I try to keep that as part of my day-to-day leadership philosophy. I think what is going on right now with regards to the way we view the future operating environment is incredibly significant. So you're going to grow up, I grew up in a world called air-land battle, where it was about fire and maneuver and being able to move on Soviet formations and destroy them in detail after we had defended in Germany and fallen back and then counterattacked. You're going to grow up in an environment where it is going to be all about a constant atmosphere of competition. Competition short of warfare, because warfare becomes dangerous when you start talking about superpowers. So the space that you operate in is going to be this tension of competition between China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and violent extremism, and the United States and our partners and allies. And so to accomplish that, we're going to look across all domains of warfare, all 5 of them: air, land, sea, space, and cyber. And you're going to have an opportunity, regardless of what your branch is, to operate within all 5 of those domains in what we call multi-domain operations. This is a much different way of doing warfare than what we've had in the past. We're turning the ship quite a bit. It's going to require you to be leaders of deeper thought. It's going to require you to be leaders of greater agility. It's going to require you to be leaders that are broader in the way that you apply yourself to the problems. So you're getting ready to go to BOLC once you all graduate, and you'll need to focus at BOLC on what your task is, to be a good infantryman or finance officer or transporter or aviator, and that's fine. That's what we want you to do. Build those basic building blocks to make you good at that trade. But then as you get more senior, you're going to find yourself doing things that are less specific, less branch specific, and much more broad, much more so than my cohort did growing up. You're going to find yourself having those opportunities. So I think that's an exciting thing right now. I'm very excited for you guys. I wish I could hang around for another 31 years. I don't think my body will make it. Yep, sir.
Sir, what's your favorite part about being in the Army?
My favorite part? This. You guys. The young people, the soldiers, the lieutenants, the captains. To me, so the Army is this big machine that just grinds along, and it doesn't change a lot because it's a very bureaucratic institution. So over the years, it makes small course corrections, but it's basically the same kind of machine we've had since 1775, right? Our job is to go out and fight and win our nation's wars. But what makes it special is the people that make it up. Across all components, across all branches, across all the diversity that we have in our force. That's what's fun for me. So coming down here to do something like this, you can ask my team. I'm no fun to be around after I've been in the office for about a week. They get me out so that I can spend time with soldiers. And I love it in the summer when you guys are in town for CST. I mean, the whole headquarters is just on fire because it's all about what you're doing. It's all about this new group of leaders that'll come in one year, that'll then head off to run our Army, and then another group of leaders the next year. And we all went through it. Everybody in here went through it. Every general officer you see here went through it. And we look back on it now, and we just relish how much fun it was. So we get a lot of juice out of watching you guys and knowing that our Army's going to be in great hands with you. So there's nothing quite as fascinating as being a lieutenant and kind of learning the Army. But you are the low man or woman on the totem pole, so there's always that, right? You're always the first person on the DA6, do SDO. Company command's a great time. Company command, you really get to know your soldiers. You get to enjoy what goes on at the tactical level. Battalion command is what I would consider to be the last kind of fun tactical job in the Army. It's the last time that you could really, if you make an effort through 24 months, you can get to know your soldiers, depending on how big your formation is, who they are, at least the senior leaders, E5, E6, and above. After that, it really kind of becomes about looking a whole lot more up than it is about looking down. Once you're a brigade commander, your sights are on the horizon, starting to look up, and then when you're a general, you're looking up all the time. What are the big strategic issues that the chief and the secretary need me to do? I spend a lot of time with the chief and secretary talking about you, talking about what we need to do to make you better, to resource you, to help you be successful. I'd love to spend more time looking down at you and investing in you individually. These events give me an opportunity to do that. But I think probably company command, battalion command, somewhere between captain and lieutenant colonel, those are fun ranks. Greatest lesson I've ever learned from a young soldier is that regardless of who you are or how much you think you don't know everything. I've had great young soldiers that have surprised me with the depth and breadth of their thought and their discussion and their engagement. And I would have, and I think somebody said something about it on the panel, I think it was General West, I might have dismissed them out of hand because I had already kind of characterized them as young, less mature, less experienced, probably didn't have anything that was going to be useful for me. And then I found out that they had quite a bit. And I could probably give you 10 different examples of that, but I think that's the most important thing.